Wide leg pants can either take 10 years off you or they can quietly add 10 years on. And the difference comes down to one single spot on your body that most women have never actually located, not one time in their whole life. I'm going to show you exactly where that spot is in just a few minutes. And once you find it, I promise you, you will never look at a pair of pants the same way again. Now, be honest with me. Have you ever pulled a pair of wide-leg trousers off the rack, held them up against yourself in that fitting room mirror and thought, Lord, these are gonna swallow me whole, and hung them right back up? I did that for years, honey, years. I'd see them on a mannequin, love them completely, and then talk myself right out of buying them the second I got them home. And here's what nobody ever told me back then, what I had to learn the hard way after a lot of wasted money and a lot of disappointed sighs in dressing rooms. It was never the pants, not once. It was three small, completely fixable things that not one single person had ever bothered to explain to me. Welcome back to Classic Fashion 60+, the channel where we talk about dressing the body you actually have today, not the one you had in an old photograph, and certainly not the one some 25-year-old designer imagines when they cut a pattern. If that sounds like the kind of plain, useful advice you've been looking for, now would be a fine time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because what I'm about to walk you through today is something most personal stylists would sit you down and charge you good money for. Here's my promise to you. By the time we're finished today, you will know precisely what length, what fabric, and what fit to look for without spending a fortune replacing your whole closet. You'll understand why your body genuinely handles fabric differently than it did 20 years ago, and why that has nothing to do with anything you did wrong. And you're going to learn one small adjustment, something that takes you about 2 seconds standing in front of your own mirror, that makes your legs look longer and your whole middle look smoother without a single stitch of shapewear. Now stay with me all the way through to mistake number 4, because that one is the piece that ties every other tip together, and I promise you, almost nobody explains it correctly. Almost nobody. Let's clear something up right from the start, because I think a lot of us were raised believing the opposite. A flowing pant does not hide you. Worn the right way, it does the exact opposite. It announces you. Think about the women who wore trousers like this and never once looked like they were trying to disappear. Sophia Loren didn't. Iris Apfel certainly didn't. Lauren Hutton, well into her later years, walked into a room in wide trousers like she owned the whole building. None of them were hiding a single thing. They were standing in fabric that moved when they moved, and that gave them a kind of presence you cannot fake with a tight waistband and a prayer. That's the feeling we're building toward today, sugar. Not smaller, not invisible, just put together, on purpose. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking right about now, because I hear it in the comments constantly. Won't all that extra fabric just make me look bigger? I understand exactly why you'd think that. It seems like plain common sense. More fabric, more size, right? But it actually works the opposite way. And here's the simple reason why. A tight pant clings to every single change in your body, every curve, every soft spot, and puts it right on display for the whole room to study. A well-cut wide leg pant, on the other hand, skims past all of that and creates one long, clean line from your waist straight down to the floor. It's an optical illusion, honestly, and a good one. Straight lines read as tall and lean to the eye. Clingy fabric reads as exactly the shape underneath it. Nothing hidden, nothing softened. So no, sugar, the fabric is not the enemy here. It never was. It's entirely about how that fabric is cut and where it sits and what you pair it with, which is precisely what we're covering today. Now, before we get into fixing anything, I want to explain why your body handles fabric differently than it used to, because once you understand the why, shopping gets a whole lot less frustrating. This has almost nothing to do with the number on the scale. It has everything to do with posture, with how our spine and our core quietly shift over the decades. Doctors who study this will tell you plainly, after 60, the curve in your upper back tends to increase a little. Your shoulders round forward just slightly, and your torso can actually shorten a touch from years of gravity doing its work on your spine. That changes where your natural waist sits. It changes how a waistband behaves. A pair of trousers that fit you beautifully at 45 can hang completely differently on you now, and it is not because you did anything wrong. It's not decline, honey. It's just a body that has lived a full life and carries itself a little differently because of it. On top of that, muscle naturally softens a bit with the years, and where your body carries its weight can shift too, even if the number on the scale hasn't moved 1 pound. A well-cut, wide-leg pant moves with your body instead of fighting it. No digging into your stomach after a big lunch. No fabric pulling tight across your knee every time you sit down in the car. There's actual research behind this too. A wide, supportive waistband, the kind you find on a proper high-rise trouser, distributes pressure evenly around your middle instead of cutting a thin line straight across it, which matters an awful lot if you deal with any bloating or sensitivity around your midsection. And let's be honest, most of us do at this age. Comfort and elegance were never enemies. Every effortlessly put-together woman I have ever admired was also, without exception, the most comfortable woman in the room. Alright, go ahead and save this video right now before we move on, because what comes next is the exact checklist a stylist would walk you through in a consultation that would cost you real money, and you're getting every bit of it for free today. Mistake number 1, and it is the biggest one by far, is length. And it is almost invisible to the person actually wearing the pants. Why? Because you're looking down at your own legs. Everybody else is seeing you from across the room. Too long, and that fabric pools around your shoe, drags on wet pavement, frays at the hem, and honestly becomes something you could trip over. Too short, and the pant cuts your leg at the single worst possible point, which visually chops you off and makes your whole leg look shorter and heavier than it actually is. So here's the rule, and there's no guessing involved. A full-length, wide-leg pant should just barely kiss the top of your shoe. A whisper of fabric, not a puddle of it. If you prefer them cropped, they need to land right at the narrowest part of your ankle, never at the widest part of your calf, because that spot right there is the least flattering point on nearly every single leg shape there is. Now here's the part almost nobody mentions. The exact same pair of pants that looks stunning with boots and a heavier sock in January can look completely wrong with bare ankles and a sandal in June. If a pair earns a real spot in your closet, one you plan to wear across every season, it is worth either having 2 different hem lengths done or settling on a compromise length that behaves reasonably well in both worlds. That one small adjustment is the whole difference between pants you wear twice and toss in a drawer, and pants you reach for constantly all year long. And while we're on the subject of hems, let's talk shoes for just a second, because your shoe does half the work here. A simple pointed flat or a low block heel will lengthen your leg beautifully underneath a wide trouser. Sneakers can work too on a more casual day, but choose a low profile one, nothing chunky, because a heavy sneaker sole under all that fabric volume just adds bulk exactly where you don't need it. Let me speak directly to a few of you for a second, because I get asked this constantly. If you're petite, do not shy away from a wide leg out of fear it will swallow you. The trick for you is simply keeping that hem as close to floor length as you can manage, because a shorter, choppier length is what actually overwhelms a smaller frame, not the width of the leg itself. If you're tall, you have the easiest time of all here. Floor-grazing, full-length, wide legs were practically invented for you. And if you carry more weight through your middle or your hips, the wide leg is genuinely one of the most forgiving silhouettes available to you, so long as you follow the fabric and waist rules we're about to cover. This is not a body shape restricted style. It never was. It only ever needed the right adjustments. Quick question for you, and I really do want your honest answer down in the comments. Have you ever bought what felt like the perfect pair of pants, only to have them look completely wrong the second you switched from boots to sandals? I want to know how common this really is, so tell me. Mistake number 2 has nothing to do with the cut of the pant at all, and everything to do with what it's actually made of. And this is the one nearly every single online shopper gets wrong without ever realizing it. Stiff, heavy fabric, your raw denims, your thick canvas cottons, they stand away from the body instead of moving with it, and that is exactly what creates bulk through the hip and the seat. Soft drapey fabric, your linens, your crepes, a fluid viscose or a tencel blend, falls with gravity and skims right past the body instead of fighting it. Here's a little test, and it takes 10 seconds flat. Grab a section of the fabric in your fist, squeeze it, hold it for a slow count of 3, then let it go. If that fabric holds the crushed shape you just made, put it back on the rack because it is working against you. If it falls back into a smooth line almost immediately, that fabric is going to move beautifully every single time you walk. This one little test will tell you more than any size chart or any glossy brand photograph ever could, because it's testing the actual material, not somebody else's body wearing it under perfect studio lighting. Shopping online, which, let's be honest, most of us are doing these days, that same test still applies. Skip past the polished professional photos for a second and look for the customer-uploaded pictures instead. A relaxed cut in a stiff cotton behaves nothing like that same cut in a soft fluid viscose, even when the tag says the exact same size. Quick styling note while we're here, and I want you to remember this one. When you're building an outfit around a flowing bottom, don't be afraid of a little bit of shine or texture up top to balance it. A simple gold pendant necklace, nothing fussy, resting right at the collarbone draws the eye upward and gives the whole outfit a finished, intentional look, rather than one that reads as thrown together at the last minute. And carry a structured bag, not a slouchy one, when you're wearing this much volume below the waist. A crossbody or a simple tote with clean lines gives your silhouette something firm to balance against all that soft, moving fabric. Mistake number 3 is the one that quietly turns an elegant trouser into what starts to feel like a sack, and it is almost never about the pants themselves. It's about everything happening around them. Your eye needs somewhere to land when it looks at an outfit. Without a defined waistline, your eye just slides straight from your shoulder to your ankle without stopping anywhere at all, and the whole look reads as one long, shapeless column. A defined waistline, whether that's a fitted top, a soft belt, or a gentle front tuck, gives the eye a place to rest, and that one single detail does more for your overall shape than the actual cut of the pants ever will on its own. And speaking of belts, here's a quick one for you. A slim belt in a soft leather worn at your natural waist rather than cinched too tight adds definition without a single bit of discomfort. Go with a color that either matches your pants for a long, unbroken line or contrasts gently if you want a bit more visual interest. Either approach works beautifully. It just depends on the mood you're going for that day. Now, an honest question for you, and I genuinely want to hear your answer in the comments below. Of these first 3, length, fabric, or waist definition, which one do you think is happening in your closet right now, today? Drop the number. I read every single comment, and it tells me exactly what to cover in our next video together. All right, sugar, here it is, the one I promised you at the very beginning. Mistake number 4. And it is, without a doubt, the detail that ties every other tip on this list together. Where the waistband of your pants actually sits on your body matters more than almost any other decision you will make in that fitting room. And most women, and I do mean most, have genuinely never located their own true waistline in their entire life. A proper high-rise pant should sit right at your natural waist, not up near your ribs, not down below your belly, but right at the narrowest point of your torso, wherever that happens to be on you specifically. And when it sits exactly there, something happens that feels almost like a magic trick. It visually lengthens your entire leg and smooths your middle without one single piece of shapewear involved. Here's how you find that spot, and it takes about 30 seconds. Stand up right now if you're able, and gently bend to one side, just a little lean. See that crease that forms right at your side? That is your natural waist. That is exactly where a true high-rise pant should sit. And here's why almost nobody gets this right. Remember what we talked about earlier, how posture and gravity shift a little as we get older? That waistline you had at 30 is very likely not in the exact same spot it's in today. The mannequin in the store is built for a body that isn't yours, and it is almost never showing you the right placement for your actual frame. That is precisely why so many of us end up wearing our waistbands too low, sitting right at the widest part of our middle instead of above it, and wondering why nothing ever looks quite right. Try this test tonight in front of your own mirror before you order one more pair of pants online. It costs you nothing, and it will change how you shop from this day forward. Now here's the styling formula that elegant dressers never abandon, and I want you to really hear this one. When there's volume on the bottom, you need structure up top. That does not mean squeezing yourself into anything tight or uncomfortable. It means choosing pieces that skim your shape rather than add to all that volume. A fitted knit tucked in at the front, a blouse with a soft half tuck, or a blazer left open to create one clean vertical line straight down your body. Any one of those anchors a flowing pant instantly and gives your whole outfit a shape. The mistake almost everyone makes without ever realizing it is pairing a wide, flowing pant with an equally wide, flowing top. When both halves of your outfit are soft and loose, there is no shape left anywhere on your body, and instead of reading as relaxed and elegant, the whole thing starts to read like a costume rather than an outfit somebody chose on purpose. Here's a quick styling note on jackets, since we're talking structure. A cropped jacket or a tailored blazer works wonders over a wide leg pant because it keeps your proportions in check instead of adding even more fabric to an already flowing silhouette. If the weather calls for something longer, a coat left open, never buttoned, will do the same job. Buttoned up, a long coat over wide leg pants can start to swallow your whole shape, so leave it open and let that vertical line down the front do its work. Here's a fast way to check yourself before you ever leave the house. Look at your reflection from the side, not just straight on from the front. If you cannot tell where your waist is from that side view, something needs adjusting before you walk out that door. The side view does not lie the way a front view sometimes does. It strips away all the color and pattern and shows you the actual shape you're creating, plain and simple. A few finishing touches make an outsized difference, and one of them is a genuine secret most women never hear anybody explain. Keeping your top and your pants in the same color family, cream with cream, navy with navy, camel with camel, create one long, unbroken line running from your shoulder all the way down to the floor. That single choice does more for how tall you appear than a pair of high heels ever could, and it's far more comfortable too. Your shoes matter just as much as anything else in this outfit. A pointed flat or a low block heel elongates the leg beautifully underneath all that fabric, and matching your shoe color to your pants rather than contrasting it creates one uninterrupted line running straight from your waist down to your toes. It's another quiet, easy way to look taller without doing anything dramatic at all. Let's talk jewelry and accessories for just a moment more, because this is where a lot of women either get it exactly right or completely overdo it. With this much fabric already happening below the waist, keep your jewelry a little more restrained than usual. One statement piece, a good pair of earrings, or a single bold necklace, not both at once, and a simple watch or a stack of thin bracelets. A silk scarf tied loosely at the neck or looped through the handle of your bag adds a lovely pop of color without competing against the volume of the trouser. The goal is balance in every direction, not just at the waist, but from your ears all the way down to your toes. And one more small thing while we're here. Keep your handbag strap length in mind too. A bag that hangs too low, right around your hip, will cut across all that beautiful vertical line we just spent this whole video building. A crossbody worn slightly higher or shoulder bag with a shorter strap keeps that line intact instead of chopping it in half right in the middle of your outfit. And now, the tailoring trick I promised you earlier, because this one saves women real money and almost nobody uses it. If you can pinch more than about 1.5 inches of extra fabric anywhere around the waist or hip when those pants are buttoned and zipped, that is not a sizing failure on your part. That is simply a tailoring opportunity sitting right there waiting for you. A $30 pair of pants, properly tailored, can look like it cost $200. And here's what surprises most people when they hear it for the first time. Tailoring a wide leg pant is often cheaper and faster than tailoring a fitted straight leg pair because the alterations usually happen only at the waist and the hip, never down the entire length of the leg. It is one of the most underused tools sitting in plain sight in nearly every closet in America. And don't let the word tailor intimidate you either. You are not asking for anything complicated. You walk in, you point to the waist, you say, "Please take this in right here," and most shops will have it ready for you within a week, sometimes less. It is a 15-minute appointment that can change how a pair of pants works for you for years. I want to tell you about a woman in this community, I'll call her Carol because that's close enough to her real name, who wrote in the comments a while back saying she had avoided wide leg pants for almost 15 years, absolutely convinced they made her look shapeless and lost. One trip to a tailor and one properly placed high-rise pant later, she wrote something I have never once forgotten. She said, "I didn't change my body one bit, I just finally understood it." And honey, that right there is the entire point of everything we covered today. None of this was ever about hiding, and none of it was ever about disguising anything. It's about understanding how fabric, structure, and proportion actually work, and then using that knowledge on purpose, instead of guessing every single morning you get dressed and hoping for the best. You do not need a certain height, a certain size, or a certain birthday on your driver's license to wear wide leg pants beautifully. You needed somebody to sit down and explain the why behind it all, not just hand you another list of rules with no context attached to any of them. Now you have exactly that, and every single video on this channel is built the very same way. Specific, practical, made for exactly where you are right now, today. Not recycled from somebody else's closet decades younger than yours. If this video handed you even one thing today that you didn't know 20 minutes ago, and I would bet good money it handed you a few, go ahead and give it a like right now before you scroll off somewhere else. It's the simplest way of telling me that this kind of plain, respectful advice for women over 60 is actually wanted out there, and it's exactly what keeps this channel showing up in front of the women who need it, instead of getting buried under content made for somebody else entirely. And if you want more of this, real, specific, no-nonsense answers about dressing the body you actually have, go ahead and subscribe to Classic Fashion 60+ and turn those notifications on while you're at it. New videos on flattering outfits, timeless style, and building genuine confidence after 60 come out regularly, and I promise you every single one follows this same rule. No filler, no fluff, just what actually works on a real woman's body. One last question before you go, and I truly do want your honest answer down in the comments. Out of everything we talked about today, length, fabric, waist definition, rise placement, or tailoring, which one are you going to change the very next time you get dressed? Not which one surprised you the most, which one are you actually going to do differently starting tomorrow morning? I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stand up a little straighter, wear the fabric that moves with you, and remember, honey, the way you carry yourself will always be the finest thing you put on. Like this video, subscribe to Classic Fashion 60+, and I'll meet you right back here next time for more timeless style that helps women over 60 look elegant, put together, and completely unapologetically themselves.